Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back in another video. This is one just for fun, really, I suppose, kind of for a bit of fun, as it's Friday night. It's technically Saturday morning, which it should be now serious Saturdays. I know I have these quirky patterns, but anyway, I thought I'd make this video for a bit of fun. I did have quite a few different ideas, so I wasn't quite sure which one to work on, but basically the idea behind this is like one of my quirky and crazy dreams to have like a network of excuse me, to have a network of like I talked before about dyslexic billionaires and different groups of billionaires who have things in common. Like it could be Indian billionaires or Chinese billionaires or Asian billionaires, or there could be networks for millionaires, mere millionaires. Just kidding. But as I say, just for a bit of fun. But yeah, obviously, if it did happen, I think it'd be pretty cool. As I've mentioned quite a few times, I know I do have these big dreams and ideas, but most of my money I would give to charity if I could. And I'd love to make these networks and like copyright them somehow if I could, or trademark protect them or whatever. And hopefully these videos will show that I came up with the idea first. But I know in the past I came up with lots of ideas, but sometimes I was a bit after a while I was a bit nervy as to who to share them with, because like many people who come up with ideas think about copyright protection or whatnot, or whether people can just steal your ideas and things like that. So I hear a lot of people say like ideas are a dime a dozen, so you shouldn't worry so much about people stealing your ideas, or even I've heard one or two people say like even if people stop stealing your ideas or stop taking your ideas seriously, it means they're not that good anyway or whatnot. So you should be more worried about that. But yeah, I heard like things like stories about like in the past, like how Bill Gates apparently, or Microsoft generally as a company, took ideas from like Apple, and Apple took ideas from like Xerox, I think, and things like that. So yeah, people say how important it's important to take action. I suppose making this video is a kind of action, I suppose. But yeah, I thought I'd discuss this idea. Like I thought of quite a few ideas, and the problem I have a lot of time is when an idea comes into my mind, I don't know if it's a dyslexia thing or what, but so many different ideas come into mind at the same time rather than just one or two. So like as soon as I think, oh yeah, I can write that idea, suddenly a new idea will come into my mind. So a lot of time that's why I get writer's block. I don't really know which idea to work on, even with my YouTube videos sometimes. Or I start a project and I get interested in another project. It's not that I get bored of that project necessarily, but like some people might think I get bored of that project. My cousin used to say to me, you get bored too easily. And if we spent more time again, he probably would say the same again. But yeah, it probably comes across I get bored of that idea. Maybe I do, I don't know. But I think I just get excited about another idea. So I sort of shelve that idea and go to another idea. And then sometimes I have to remember which ideas I haven't worked on yet. But as I say, this is just one of my fun ideas to dream about, perhaps. And to be honest, if it did happen, I would be really proud and pleased. I'd love the irony, as I often say. I love irony, and like being someone who's never really achieved anything, like other than making a YouTube video and doing a bit for charity here and there. I've never really achieved anything that great, like academically or in other areas, really. Especially not for my age and all that kind of thing. But so I think it'd be quite interesting, like by sharing these YouTube videos, if they somehow came through and or came to fruition, or however you want to put it, and got put into practice or whatnot. I think it would be quite an irony, as I say. And as I say, I love irony. Like if my big picture thinking ideas worked and made lots of money, as I say, like I would love for like whatever companies were made, like the Dyslexic Millionaires Company, the Dyslexic Billionaires United Company, the Indian Billionaires United Company, the Indian Millionaires United Company, and things like that. I would love whatever money they did make, if they did work. Like I would love to be able to have like the M.K.S estate or whatever, to have 10% of that, and from that 10%, I would love to divide that by another 20%. So each one would go. So, like for instance, if the company if a certain millionaires or billionaires network, or even a network of millionaires and billionaires, like made a lot of money, let's say, I could go really, really dream like saying trillions and trillions of pounds, like 100 trillion or something ridiculous like that. But yeah, let's say if it made 100 billion or something like that, which is still a huge amount of money, obviously. Or even a trillion, if I really dream, or even 100 trillion or whatever, whatever amount of money it made. This company, I would love for the M.K.S estate, like to have 10%, and out of that 10%, as I say, so let's say it made 100 billion, then 10% would go to the M.K.S estate, which would be obviously 10 billion, sorry. But that out of that money, this would be divided by 20%. So it would each go to. Why does my nose always have to be running when I'm making videos? Yeah, sorry. It would go to out that. So that in this case, like 10 billion. It feels like a ridiculous amount to talk about, like for especially for a little guy like me. But who's never really achieved anything. But a dull weller like me, it would be a heck of a lot of money. But yeah, as I say, most of my money I would give to things. Some of it I would give to like selfish cause, which is like Italian football. I think that's the only really selfish thing that I would invest in, like or donate to. I'm not really materialistic, as I often say, but probably doesn't sound like that in a way. But Celtic, I mean, some people might say that's a selfish thing because it's a football team I support, and I'd love to see them do well. But at the same time, like Celtic does a lot for charity anyway, and I think like they went through a lot, so it is supporting like the underdog. Whereas Italy was like colonial power. That's why I say it's a bit of a selfish idea of mine, just because I think I look Italian and I supported them since I was young, when I was young and naive. But yeah, so as I say, I would love to give like out of that money, if it ever worked, I would love to give like 20% to Italian football, 20% to Celtic FC, 20% to my political goals, like libertarianism, libertarian groups, or that sort of thing, and like cutting people's taxes, deregulating industries, and things like that, like making people more free, as I would see it. I know it's a bit of a controversial thing, like anti-imperialists, anti-capitalists, socialists or communists would not agree with that, or many of these ideas, to be fair. But yeah, obviously you could still tackle poverty without raising taxes or things like that. So using that money to do so, and to people from developing countries, and also to people from developing countries, and also to former colonies and things like that. So like poor people around the world and things like that. So it would make quite a lot of difference. Like if I really dream, like if it made like 100, like a network made like 100 trillion or something ridiculous like that, like, and the M.K.S estate got 10% of that, which is 10 trillion, which seems a ridiculous amount to talk about. Like part of me thinks I shouldn't even talk about that idea because it probably makes me sound really, make people know how mad I am. Like, so, but then yeah, in this scenario, in this case, like this dream scenario, which I know many people say is a pipe dream, like again, whatever amount of money it would make, 20% would go to each of those 5 causes I talked about, and I'd love to dedicate as much of my attention, time, money, effort, energy, and whatnot, and basically overall ability to those 5 causes: Italian football, Celtic FC, libertarianism, and political ideals generally, anti-imperialism, or supporting former colonies, and supporting poor and disadvantaged people and disabled people, and that sort of thing around the world. I would love to support those sorts of things generally. So yeah, I thought of different titles like M.K.S for a Dyslexic Billionaires Network, M.K.S for a Neurodiversity Billionaires Network. So like people with Asperger's, ADHD, and other neurodiverse conditions, including dyslexia, would be part of that as well. Yeah, I thought of making videos like asking the question, like, wouldn't it be ironic, or what if I managed to make this network, how ironic it would be, and stuff like that. So yeah, I thought of a few different titles, or a few different sort of things to discuss, but I couldn't really decide which one. So I thought I'd make a sort of mash of different ideas, a hodgepodge of different ideas and that sort of thing. But anyway, I hope you enjoy my quirky imagination and ideals. I know they probably sound a bit sort of greedy in a way, or and a bit crazy and that sort of thing, which they probably are. But yeah, I thought I'd discuss them anyway and talk about some of these things in this crazy head of mine. And as I say, as ever, I'd love to hear what you think. Do you think such networks could be positive and actually make for a positive world? Do you think I'm being mad? Dare I ask? I don't know if I should ask that. Yeah, anything you want to comment, or what you think, or you think the irony would be quite interesting, like a guy who was unemployed for so long or didn't manage to achieve anything could found such networks and like get 10% and then donate it to all these causes. Or what would you do if you had a lot of money? Is another question I'd love to ask. Like, what would you donate to, or invest in, or spend your money in? How much of it would you keep? How much would you give away? What sort of things would you buy, and that sort of thing? If you had, let's say, £1 billion, or or something like that, or even £1 trillion. I'd love to know those sorts of questions, those sorts of thoughts, as mad as they are. And yeah, I'd be interested to read them. And I am out. Peace and love.